So last week I blew out my voice. Here's a clip.
So I woke up this morning sounding like this. I don't think I'm going to be able to put out a video this week.
Oh yeah. So this video is one of those videos where I know what I want to say, but I just don't know how to say it. There's been this bizarre mindset that's crept into modern behavior and media as of late. This kind of militant political correctness. These unwritten cultural laws that define what you can and cannot say. And it seems to me like it's all based on not offending people. Why? Why all of a sudden is it so bad to offend people? And for that matter, why is being offended so awful? From where I sit, it's a really great emotion to experience. It lets you know where you stand. It shows you your emotional shortcomings. It points out flaws in your emotional armor and pushes your boundaries. It can make you think or feel, or it can drive a conversation further. And the self-reflection being offended causes can be vital to your growth as a person. And I get why it's frowned upon. Words can carry weight, and they can hurt, but only if you let them. As much as people hate to admit it, all the power words have is given and taken by people. I've been offended many times, more times than I can count, and I've been hurt. And hey, maybe it did affect me in a negative way. I mean, I'm definitely more jaded and cynical than I was 10 years ago. But at no point have I ever thought, this person was mean to me, now I have post-traumatic stress disorder. And call me old-fashioned, but all the harassment aimed my way was done face-to-face, no intermediate like the internet. And I don't think I could count how many times I've been hurt. From teachers calling me stupid in grade 3 to being publicly ridiculed at my university graduation. And those experiences have definitely shaped who I am as a person, but at no point have I ever given up or been broken or self-diagnosed myself with a serious mental condition to make myself feel better. And I can't possibly imagine what a person could say to anybody that was so damaging that it made them question if life was worth living, let alone through a medium like the internet. Okie doke, let's try a little thought experiment. Let's say you have a device in your home, a robot maybe, that will answer any question you have, cooks you dinner, does your shopping, and jacks you off whenever you want. However, this machine, by design, corrects your errors in a snotty, self-important way and occasionally calls you a fag and tells you to kill yourself. Let's say one day you're talking with your friend in the living room and you casually mention how it sucks that Sarah has totally friend-zoned you, and the robot chimes in.
Well, actually, friendship and sexual attraction in females is completely different depending on a variety of factors, and if you aren't able to express your feelings for her like a man, or if you aren't able to cut ties because your self-worth is now based on her approval, you deserve to get used, you pathetic beta male.
Or you're chatting with your BFF and complain about how sexist females in video games have become, and the robot chimes in with,
your analysis is fundamentally flawed. Like any medium based on fantasy, both males and females want to feel superior, and so characters in video games are portrayed with over-exemplified features, including bravery, physique, and yes, even sexual appearance. This allows people who play these games to experience the feeling of being a champion or warrior, or even just better than they already are without actually being in danger or going to the gym 10 hours a day. This aspect of character design has been around long before video games, and most people are just noticing now because graphics in video games have reached almost photorealistic proportions, and most people simply apply their own feelings of inadequacy or self-consciousness onto the fictional characters, and misread the emotion as hatred for video game characters instead of the actual manifestation of hatred towards yourself. In short, you hate sexy video game characters because you know you will never be as attractive as an artificial personification of perfection, and that makes you sad, which makes you mad. And because you refuse to accept fiction is not reality, you lash out at people who like playing games for being sexist because you ultimately cannot accept the fact that neither you nor any other person on the planet is perfect. So you veil your insecurities under the blanket of general sexism, and if you ever want to be happy with yourself, you'll need to grow the fuck up.
So, we know what the machine does for us, and it just can't be fixed. Let's just say it's part of the programming that if you remove it, takes away its ability to, I don't fucking know, doesn't matter. You have two choices. Either have the machine and accept that it will disagree with you and insult you from time to time in exchange for all the wonderful things the machine does for you, or you don't have it and you live a simpler, disconnected life, free to say/do whatever you want, and free from criticism, constructive or otherwise, and with nothing to challenge or strengthen your fragile ego, it's left perpetually intact. Now, obviously, the situation is not nearly as black and white as my experiment portrays. For example, cyberbullying is often targeted to be hurtful and can be intended to be taken personally, but on the other hand, there's nothing forcing you to be on Facebook, let alone on the internet. And everything you say or do post or otherwise, is being displayed for everyone to see in an interactive medium that will net you responses, whether negative or positive, and most importantly, whether you like it or not. Now, overall, bullying is bad in all forms, whether it's physical, verbal, or even digital. And in a civilized society, we need to work to help people. But you can't stop bullying altogether. There is no way, especially with kids. Kids are fucking awful to each other. But even if we could stop everyone from being mean to each other, it wouldn't help society. All that would happen is people would get emotionally weaker and weaker, and the threshold for offense would drop and drop until you could outrage someone with a wayward glance. And I get it. Opposition is hard and sometimes painful, but it shapes who you are as a person. Your feelings, your beliefs, everything you are right now is built on what you were, and the stronger the foundation, the taller you can be. And it's not even a matter of toughening up or stop whining. It's simply about letting go. Nobody should carry everything that's happened to them. Be sad. Learn from the experience and let it go. That's how you grow as a person. And letting go won't make you any less sensitive or caring. Like, there's a huge difference between being sensitive and having feelings and being sensitive like nitrogen triiodide. The slightest provocation and boom, you're triggered for the next week and need counseling for your post-traumatic stress disorder. So what's the point of this video? Man, I don't know. I'm like 5 pages into this thing and it's already gotten 10 times as preachy as I wanted it to be, but I just read it again and I think it needs to be said. So here's the big picture. Just try your hardest to be happy. It's not your responsibility to correct every person you disagree with. There will always be assholes and bullies and horrible people in this world who want nothing more than to tear you down to make themselves feel better. But the only way that they can win is if you let them. And that's it. Be happy. Do something you love.